If you think that pizza can't be good for your gut, today I am changing that. Hi, I'm Leilani. I'm a chef and I'm a clinical nutritionist, and I specialize in gut microbiome restoration. And I work with clients every day who think they have to give up the meals that they love. But here's what I see. Small changes in quality and preparation of ingredients makes a huge difference to the way that your body actually can break it down. And that's even if you have IBS or SIBO. But today, I'm gonna cover the best pizza bases that actually break down the gluten, they lower the blood sugar spikes, and are clinically proven to be better tolerated by IBS and SIBO people. Also, I've got some of the best researched back ingredients that actually can boost the beneficial bacteria levels. They stimulate bile flow. So that's going to help with better digestion, it's going to reduce some of the bloating, and overall you will have a happier gut. Plus, I'll talk about the easiest to digest cheeses, and they come with their own prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics, so they can strengthen your gut lining if you can handle dairy, of course. Plus, I've got an ancient Roman secret to what you need to eat your pizza with for the optimal digestion. Plus, I'm gonna bust the myths on deli meats, whether they're good for you, what kind are good for you. All right, let's make the pizza that loves you back. So we're gonna start with the base. The base is everything, right? You really have to choose a good base. It has to be sourdough, it's gotta be fermented, and I'll talk about why in a second. But what you're looking for is something like, this is the ideal. See here, 72-hour ferment. So that's actually straight from the freezer, and I've put it in the fridge so it's softened. This one that I'm going to use today, it says here on the packet, it's got sourdough, and then it tells me the length. So 24 hours is the actual bare minimum, and then there's a 48-hour one as well. Generally it's those three. But if you've got gut health issues at all or bloat with gluten, and to be honest, pretty much everyone will bloat or have a negative effect with gluten, of the modern day gluten anyway, then you've got to go for the 72-hour. And what that does, the long fermentation actually allows the lactobacillus bacteria to partially, or more so, depending on how long it's leavened, fully break down the gluten protein. And it's going to be so much better for you than commercial bread. The second thing, the fermentation lowers the glycemic response. So that's going to kind of blunt those sugar spikes. Plus, it'll increase the mineral bioavailability. So the fermentation degrades the phytic acid, so you're going to get more of that iron, that magnesium, zinc of bioavailable to you. Then you're going to have more prebiotic fibers. So the resistant starch and the fibers in there, they can go to reach the colon, where they feed the beneficial bacteria like the bifidobacteria and the lactobacillus. These guys are your microbiome mates. And if you still need more convincing of why sourdough is the way to spend your money, you also get the postbiotics. So those short chain fatty acids that are there, they're going to help support the gut barrier integrity. You can even ask the restaurant, if you're going out, or the baker, how long they leave in their dough for. So if you can go organic, that's even a notch up. Now, the thing about sourdough, that it has to be real, right? Most sourdough at the supermarket actually shortcuts the fermentation process, and it's made with vinegar. So it's not true fermentation, because it needs time, as well as just 4 ingredients here: flour, water, salt, and thyme. That's it. Anything else on the label, it's not real sourdough. So you do want to kind of read the label, check into that. It's got to be that kind of bread in order for it to be gut healthy. Now, obviously, if you've got celiac or a wheat allergy, I'm not going to recommend you eat this pizza. And if you are still reacting after, say, with bloating or other things after you try this pizza, I have a recipe that's a yogurt-fermented pizza dough on my gut healthy pizza cheat sheet. It includes some yogurt in there and some apple cider vinegar, and you just need to leave it at home, try making it yourself. I've made it, my friend originally made it for me, and I honestly, after eating that pizza, I didn't even feel like I'd been eating pizza. It was like, it felt like a salad. I was light as, no weight gain, no bloating, nothing like that. Now, so we've got the pizza base. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a tomato, see how it's in glass. I do recommend, if you have the choice, it's only a little bit extra instead of plastic to, oh, lost a bit of tomato there. The ecosystem of the body is really delicate, and plastic are pollutants. So we're just trying to minimize that exposure, particularly in the toxic world that we live in now. Got a bit of sauce. Okay, let's get into the ingredients. And by the way, that cheat sheet is in the links below. So if you want that on Gut Healthy Pizza. Okay, we're gonna start with asparagus, yeah? So asparagus and actually artichoke, these two are, they're so rich in inulin, which feed up your beneficial bifidobacteria. Now with asparagus, you might know this already, they're so sweet, but you just break the end off. This one's a bit old, but that's, you don't want that woody end because it's just gonna be really gritty to eat on. So break that, then finely chop it. It does not need to be cooked beforehand. So we're just gonna put a little bit of that on, or a lot. I put so much on my toppings on my pizza that you can't hold it up. So I'm gonna go a bit lighter today because y'all are watching me. This one is actually a grilled artichoke. I don't love artichoke. I personally think like the flavor's a bit whatever. This grilled artichoke, marinated, it's so delicious. I was eating it out of the jar, the glass jar, and I'll stop it there, that'll do. And I had to leave some for this cooking class, but it was that delicious. The next thing I'm gonna go is olives. Yeah, you wanna try to get a naturally fermented olive. They've got a gut strain called Lactobacillus plantarum, and the ones in brine are okay, but if you can get more the cloudy kind in the jar, naturally fermented, they have hundreds, I think it was like over 250 probiotic strains. Obviously I've got the most gut friendly ingredients. You can add extra things to this, or you could add just one or two of them. You don't have to put everything. You do need the base though, and I'll get into the proper cheeses that are much more gut friendly for you a little bit later. So they're the two kind of main parts to this pizza if you want it to be gut friendly. Right, now mushrooms, yeah, these are actually, these guys. These are Swiss brown or crimini, shiitake, oyster are really good because they're kind of the workhorses. They've got immune properties, adrenal, particularly these Swiss brown ones. They've got B vitamins that are good for like adrenal health and energy. What was it? Selenium, so it's good for the thyroid. Now I did, as you can see, I did slightly cook these before, and what I did is I put these and also the onion, okay, and I put them in a little bit of water and I just sauteed them for 5 minutes, like steam saute, because just straight mushrooms in the oven, they don't always cook that well, and it's kind of hard to digest. I wouldn't be eating raw mushroom, let's put it like that. And same with the onion. So you can put it on raw, but it can sometimes be a little bit sharp, and sometimes people react to onion. So I just slow cooked it. You can see they're kind of like, still got their beautiful red, but they're soft. And I chose red onion because this particular one has the purple polyphenol feeds up F. prosnitzi, and this is a really powerful anti-inflammatory microbe. I'm gonna show you so far what it looks like. Huh? Sexy, yeah? Now, I'm gonna get into the cheeses in a minute, and the best pairing for the pizza, ideally to have it 10 to 15 minutes before, just to help the digestive secretions start going. But I wanna know, what's your favorite pizza topping? So I've still got a few more ingredients to go, but I'll add them after. So, cheese. Let's talk about cheese. One of the best cheeses is, particularly if you get the runs and you've got like a lactose intolerance, you want to get a more aged cheese. So see this one here, it's 12 months. You want to try to go 12 or 18 months, or if you're really sensitive, try Parmigiano Reggiano, which is 36 months aged. You've got to spend the money on dairy here. The cheap stuff just doesn't work. I tend to buy it in the block and then just grate it myself. Not only is it cheaper, but that way I can get the best quality cheese. So I'm gonna add this cheese to it. And of course, if you don't tolerate dairy, it's gonna be, you probably use, well, you probably wouldn't be having pizza, right? But start with a more aged cheese and then move your way down. Now, the other thing is, if you feel like cheese gives you constipation, which is weird to tie that into food and eating at this point, but I'm a nutritionist, so that's what we talk about all the time. Try more of a goat's cheese. Yeah, so try sheep's or goat's cheese. It's got a smaller casein protein, and you could even get the aged version because then it's got low lactose as well. And give that a go, because that you might not get the symptoms with those kind of cheeses. And I've also got a talk on the best cheeses for your gut health, and I will put that at the end of the video so you can go and watch it, because I go into a lot more detail of what they actually do, how they're broken down. Because essentially what happens with fermentation is the bacteria break it down, and the byproduct of that is a lot more bioavailable nutrients, postbiotics like short chain fatty acids, which are awesome for your gut and for your body and your brain. And then it reduces the plant proteins like the gluten and the different components in there, so that it's easier for the body to digest. And that is ancient wisdom. That's been around a long time. So what I would do now, I'm actually going to add some deli meats, but I'm going to add it after, and I'll explain why in a minute. But imagine, I'm not going to cook this right now. You don't need me to show you how to cook pizza, but I would cook this, melt the cheese, obviously, 10-15 minutes in a hot oven, and then I'll add the next ingredients. All right, so imagine this has been cooked in the oven. Now I'm going to add some of these other delicious ingredients. And just while I'm on that note of, say, healthy foods, if you still react even after you're doing all the right things and you're eating the healthy foods and you're getting bloated and you're getting headaches and you're tired all the time and you've got food intolerances, then I've put together a gut reset and repair protocol that I use with my private clients, but I wanted to make it more affordable. And it's sort of a mapped out step-by-step approach. It's got therapeutic meals, but also targeted probiotics and supplements. I'll put the link to that in the description below, so go and check it out. Now let's move on. Now, when it comes to deli meats, which I love, there are good and bad. Now, the normal deli ones that you get from, just depending on what country you're at, the conventional ones, they have chemical additives. So they're going to have the nitrites, the nitrates, the fillers. They're just carcinogens when you heat them. It's just not a good thing, right? So something like this is from Italy. This is a prosciutto di San Diele, or you can get prosciutto di Parma. Spend the money on proper deli ham. Now, what makes this so special? It's been fermented for 14 months. It only has, and I can show you here if you can see it, pork and salt. That's it. But what it does from the process of fermentation, it actually has the prebiotics, the probiotics, and the nutrients like B6, for example, which is good mood food. All right, it's really hard to get B6. That is why I'm not going to heat it in the oven. So imagine this is cooked. I'm just going to put it on after, because I don't want to kill those probiotics, because there's a lot of different beneficial strains on here. I mean, what a difference to just the kind of hard, dry, dead meat that you get in the store. And this does cost a little bit more, but I'm telling you, it is worth it. It's very salty, very flavorful. You don't need very much. Now, the next thing, so what I would also put on my pizza, or you can have it before, and the ancient Romans used to do this. They have a saying that bitter foods is better digestion. Okay, so bitter foods is like this. So this is rocket or arugula. And what I do after it's come out of the oven, I love to do this. I kind of eat it as I'm cooking away and chopping, because it starts the digestive secretions. But once the pizza's out, I actually put it on top. And it gives a beautiful complexity. Once you start getting used to eating, say, bitter foods or sour foods with heavy foods, and this is traditionally what they did, it really helps the digestion. It cuts through it. It tastes better, but you also feel better. So this is I just got an organic one because it's not that much more expensive to get organic. And then what I do is I put some lemon on top. 2 reasons. One, that's going to help the absorption of iron, but it's also going to help with the bile and the breakdown of the fat. And then I put some EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. And one of the reasons for that is this is like the liquid gold for your gut. So there you go. A gut healthy pizza, all right? And it's so good. Once you start eating this kind of food, you won't go back to the cheap stuff because you're spending a bit of extra money, but you're creating a healthy food instead of a harmful food. Now, if you love this video, please support my channel by leaving a comment, subscribing or liking. Just that helps me be here every week to teach you some of the nutritional, scientific, and ancient wisdom. So let me know in the comments what it is you want me to turn into a comfort food. I'm here to serve you. My name's Leilani. Until next time, love your guts.